and where we come from? What if the answers were within reach? The European Space Agency cares for your dreams and works every day to turn small steps into giant leaps. Ready to join the crew?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to have you here with us at the Ministerial Council. Thank you. My name is Louise Houghton. I will be guiding you through this next event and the much-awaited announcement of the 2022 ESA astronaut class. Whether you're here with us in Paris or watching online at home, I think you'll all agree that this is a very exciting time for the European Space Agency. We just heard the fantastic news that ESA member states have agreed to fund European space activities with 17 billion euros. I think that deserves a round of applause. We've seen so many benefits from this funding in the past, and we're excited to see the ideas for future ESA space activities come to light. The light today, though, falls on the next class of ESA astronauts, and we'll be announcing who they are very shortly. Thousands of people submitted an application for this opportunity, and the selection process started in April of last year. There were many rounds, and then the final hurdle was a detailed interview with ESA's Director General. I think that this is the perfect opportunity to announce who those people are, and who better to help me announce those names than ESA's Director General himself. Please welcome to the stage, Josef Aschbacher. Thank you so much for joining me on the stage.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So what are the top criteria that you look for when you're selecting an astronaut?
Well, what do we look for? First of all, these are incredible people. You see some of the astronauts here in the room, and I know them pretty well now, and they really have talents that are quite incredible. I mean, they are unique, and I think I really can say that they are unique in many ways. Of course, you look for all the intellectual capability they have, all the manual capability that they can make quick decisions under pressure, usually, and make sure that they push the right buttons and not the wrong ones, and make sure that everything goes fine. But also, of course, we have gone through, I would say, a number of steps or tests in the evaluation. We had about 6 big steps, big waves of reducing the almost 23,000 of applications down to a few. We will see them coming up very soon. And there are, one of the last hurdles is the medical test, and the very last hurdle is the Director General of ESA.
Was that fun?
Oh, that was so much fun, I tell you. Talking to these people and interviewing them, together, of course, with some of my colleagues, is really fun, because you can probe them, of course, a bit under pressure. This is what astronauts like, to put them under pressure and see how they react, and whether they have all they need to be an astronaut. They need to be very special people.
Well, we will announce who they are very shortly, but before we do, I'd love to hear a little bit more about what they're actually going to be doing once they're appointed.
But once they're appointed, so of course first we select them, and then I think there's a huge media frenzy on all the astronauts, and they will be very busy giving interviews and doing all kind of interactions. But once they are appointed, we have actually 2 categories of astronauts. One we call career astronaut, and the other one is astronauts in the reserve pool, which is let me briefly explain. The career astronauts are the ones where we immediately give a contract to them and start working with them to have a base training, to make sure that they get all the information needed, but also that they are getting ready for future missions. This base training will be at the European Astronaut Center in the Cologne in Germany, but also in other places, and lasts about a year, a bit more than a year, and then they would be, as I say, ready for a future mission for which they have to be trained. And then once a future mission is identified, of course, then the training for that mission will have to occur. The astronauts in the reserve pool are astronauts that are astronauts, as the name says, so there is no difference. They are astronauts, but of course they are not yet engaged by ESA directly through a permanent contract, but they will be available for future astronaut activities. They usually would continue their job in what they do, so they would be a physician or a fighter pilot, or we have quite a different diversity of those, so they would continue in their job, but we would have an engagement with them. We will give them a short contract so that they work with us, that we can interact with them regularly, and then if opportunities arise, maybe later on, of course they can then be put into full training for baseline trainings for astronauts and future missions.
And different projects.
And different projects,
yeah.
voila.
Well, we look forward to finding out who they are. I don't think we should keep anybody in suspense any longer, do you? Do you want to do the honors and lift the curtain?
How do I lift the curtain?
On your call.
Okay, lift the curtain.
Big round of applause. Wow.
Isn't this so much fun?
Lots of smiles that we're seeing here on the stage. This is our 2022 class of ESA astronauts. I'd like to say some names and introduce them to you. So the first line, from left to right, we have Sophie Adano. Pablo Alvarez Fernandez. Megan Christian, Anthea Comalini, Rosemary Coogan, Sara Garcia Alonso, Raphael Liégeois, and John McFall. Joseph, I can see your smile is as big as theirs. How are you feeling right now?
I think my smile is even bigger. It's so beautiful to see them. I have seen them just a few weeks ago. We had the interview, and I'm very happy to see you again. And it really makes me think of all the brilliance of these people. They have been very sharp in their responses to my difficult questions. I hope you didn't mind too much. I did tell you when in the interview that you may be invited to Paris. You may not know whether you're selected or not, but if you're going to Paris, I said, you will only find out whether you're a career astronaut or astronaut in the reserve pool today, and this is what happened. So I think this was very much of attention for you, but I thank you for being so brave and so wonderful.
Yes, and we'll find out who is going to be a career astronaut in just a moment. But for now, I'll introduce the line at the back. We have, starting from left again, Andrea Patasa, Carmen Posnick, Arno Prost, Amelie Schonenwald, Marco Sieber, Aleš Svoboda, Sławol Uznaninski, Marcus Vandt, and Nicola Winter. I'm so happy to introduce each and every one of you. Huge congratulations to you for being at this stage here today. It's so nice to have you with us, and thank you as well for you joining me on the stage. I'd like to invite you back a little bit later on, if that's okay.
Let me say one last thing.
Yes, please.
I mean, if you look at these wonderful people here, of course, the selection was about talent and about capabilities to be a fantastic astronaut. But I'm also very proud that it happens to be a very good distribution of genders. So we have almost 50% ladies in this group here, and I think that's also very important, and from very different countries. You will find out pretty soon from which countries they come. I think this is something I'm very happy about.
I'm happy about that too.
Thank you.
So thank you once again to Josef Aschbacher. Well, I would now like to invite to the stage ESA's Director of Human and Robotic Exploration, Dr. David Parker.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for joining me. David, you were also involved with the selection of the astronauts that we see here today, and I know that it was important for you to make sure that the final selection was very diverse. As Josep already mentioned, we have 50% women here on the stage, which is fantastic to see from my point of view, but I know it was important for you to include astronauts with a physical disability.
Yeah, this is really important to us. Diversity, it comes in many different ways. And the World Health Organization reckons that about 15% of the population live with some sort of disability, and maybe 2% are really affected by it. And so, of course, to be an astronaut is a very exclusive thing to be, but having a disability shouldn't rule you out. And that was really part of this very special project that we launched in this process.
And I understand that their name is going to be called para-astronauts. Do you want to talk a bit more about where that name came from?
Yeah, absolutely. So para means para as in parallel or alongside. It's like the Paralympics. It's the parallel process alongside the Olympic Games. And the same way, the para-astronaut has been selected, developed, examined in every different way in exactly the same process as all the other astronauts that you see here.
Well, this is the first time that we are attempting to fly somebody with a physical disability to space, so I understand that there's probably quite a lot of uncharted waters ahead.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are pioneering something here. It's something we're really excited to be doing. We need to start a process by which we are going to work with the individual, understand how to adapt the space vehicle, maybe something aboard the space station to ensure that they can live and work and do a meaningful mission aboard the station.
Of course, and I'd like to invite them to the stage now. I'm going to go and grab a microphone so that we can have a few words from them. So I think it's wise that we now announce our para-astronaut for 2022, and that is John McFall. Please come forward. Congratulations, John. It's great to have you with us here at the front of the stage. I'd love to ask you a little bit more about why you applied to be an astronaut, first of all.
Well, when ESA announced they were looking for a candidate with a physical disability, I thought it was such an inspiring and exhilarating opportunity. And I looked at the person's specification and I thought, wow, this is really aspirational. This is a very brave and very bold thing to do. And with my broad scientific background and vast range of experiences, I felt compelled to try and help ESA answer this question: can we get someone with a physical disability to do meaningful work in space?
So what do you think that you can contribute to the feasibility study?
I think that I can bring lots of things to the feasibility study, but I think in particular I can bring inspiration. You know, inspiration that science is for everyone, but inspiration that potentially space is for everyone.
Okay. And do you want to just talk a little bit more about the feasibility study, David, and what it hopes to achieve?
Well, we're really interested to work with John, overcome the challenges that may exist, but also benefit the whole community and reach out and ensure that they come along the journey with us in preparing for John to fly.
Okay, great. Well, I'm sure that you have a lot more to say, and that will be said in interviews later on. But for now, I would like to say thank you to both of you. Thank you to Dave Parker, ESA's Director of Human and Robotic Explorations. It's great to have you with us on stage. Thank you so much. And John, if you would like to just go and stand over there on the side of the stage, and we'll announce some of the career astronauts today. Thank you so much. To do those announcements, though, I would like to invite back to the stage ESA's Director General, Josep Aschbacher. Thank you so much for coming back up on stage. Now, you talked already about the two different classes or two different selections that there is here today, either a career astronaut or somebody in the reserve. Is there anything more you'd like to add to that before we announce the names?
I mean, they are all astronauts, so really would like to make this clear that they are all equally capable of flying to space because we have done all the tests and all the pressure we have put on them. The only thing is that we have not 20 or so flight opportunities, so we need to make a choice and start with one batch, and maybe for the others a bit later, and look for other opportunities. So yes, they are all astronauts. Of course, with the career astronauts, we start working immediately. That means early next year. We will offer them a contract, or you have seen the contract already, to really start fully engaging them in all the base training that is needed and prepare them for future missions.
Fantastic. Well, I think it's time that we announce our first one then. Let's come into the middle of the stage a little bit more as we announce our first ESA career astronaut for 2022 is Sophie Adano.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you. Nice to have you with us. Love to hear a little bit more about yourself, your background, and how you came to be here today.
All right. So first of all, good afternoon to each of you. I understand that you've worked really hard for the past 2 days to get the incredible results that we've seen. Just for the anecdote, we've worked pretty hard for the past year and a half to get here on this stage, and I think we're all very happy to be here. So my background, I'm a career officer from the French Air and Space Force. I'm a helicopter test pilot as well as an engineer. I worked at Airbus Helicopters to start with, and then I flew rescue missions and transport missions throughout Europe. I have 3,000 flight hours and flew on 22 different helicopter types as a test pilot.
Wow.
Fantastic. And how confident were you feeling in the run-up to today's selection?
Well, I'm never confident. I mean, when you realize that there are so many candidates, you're never confident. You just make your way and hoping that the next step is going to work for you. And but now we're very happy.
Okay, well, congratulations to Sophie Adano. Please do go and join John over there on the side of the stage. Thank you. And it now gives me great pleasure to announce the second ESA career astronaut of 2022 is Pablo Alvarez Fernandez.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Pablo. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your background and how you came to apply to be an astronaut.
So, hello everyone, I'm Pablo Alvarez from Spain. I'm an aerospace engineer. I studied in the University of León in my hometown, and I hold a master's degree from the Warsaw University of Technology. Happen to have lived in several different countries across Europe, so I truly feel I'm European at heart. Up to now, I've been working at Airbus as a structural engineer for several different aircraft, but also as the ExoMars mechanical architect for the Rosalind Franklin rover. And now I'm a project manager based in Getafe, in Madrid.
And how was your experience of the final interview with Joseph?
Be very honest.
It was excellent. It was excellent. I could tell that he was actually enjoying interviewing every one of us. He was picky at some point, and he had to play the bad cop. But overall, my experience was great, and I'm very happy and delighted to be here with you all.
We're delighted to have you here as well. Huge congratulations to Pablo Alvarez Fernandez. So you play the bad cop, we just heard. What does playing the bad cop involve?
I like being the bad cop to really put pressure on them and see whether they really sustain. And as you see, they all survived well.
Okay. Well, I'm going to quiz you about that later on. Let's announce the third astronaut, though, for the career selection today, and that is Rosemary Coogan. Congratulations, Rosemary.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, would you like to follow in the same vein as the others and tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so my name's Rosemary Coogan. I'm 31 years old and I'm European but from the UK.
I like that.
I didn't mean it like that. I spent a few years as a Royal Naval Reserve during my studies, and then went on to work briefly in industry for software and robotics companies before doing a PhD in astrophysics, and now I work with the French space agency CNES.
Oh, fantastic. And what do you look forward to doing the most in this position?
Oh, well, as Joseph said, the training will start next year, and already that's going to be a fantastic experience, the survival training, the language learning, and I think ESA has put together a really fantastic exploration program, as we've heard about at the ministerial, and I'm really just looking forward to contributing what I can to that program.
Okay.
You have to thank all these ministers for preparing the ground.
Yes,
for
thank you
flights
very
for
much.
There we are. Well, huge congratulations once again to Rosemary Coogan. Thank you. Well, we do have a fourth career astronaut to announce, and I'm happy to say that that is Raphael Liégeois. Congratulations, Raphael.
Thank you.
All right, well, following in the same vein as the others, would you like to give us a little bit more information about yourself?
Sure. So good afternoon, everyone. It is a pleasure to be here. I'm Raphael from Belgium. My background is in biomedical engineering. I also did a PhD in neuroscience at the University of Liège in Belgium. And I completed that PhD in 2015. And since then, I have been working as a neuroscientist in various research institutes in Singapore, in the United States. And I am now a research and teaching fellow at the University of Geneva and at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Lausanne in Switzerland.
Fantastic. And you applied for this opportunity 18 months ago. When you sent in that application, did you just forget about it, or did you hear kind of quite soon on? How was the application process for you?
Well, quite long. That's the same for all the candidates, I believe. So it was 18 months in total, 6 steps, so roughly a couple months between each step. No, it was hard. At times we were waiting for an answer that was not coming, so that was hard for us, but also hard for the families that I would like to thank also for supporting us and dealing with us when we were in these situations. But no, overall it was a very great experience.
Okay, well, congratulations to you once again. Please put your hands together for Raphael Liégeois. Thank you.
Congratulations.
It must have been a very tough decision, I think, to select these career astronauts.
It was a very tough decision. I can tell you there have been so many fantastic candidates. You see them here, but also many others. And for the ones who have applied and are not standing here, I really would like to say that I'm pretty sure you are also wonderful. I hope you engage with ESA in the future. We have many other good jobs to offer. We would like to really stay in contact with you because this is something very important to us. But it was a tough decision, I can tell you.
I'm sure. Well, we do have one more career astronaut to announce today, and that is Marco Sieber. Congratulations, Marco.
Congratulations.
Love to hear a little bit more about your background as well, please.
Yes, so I'm Marco Sieber from Switzerland. I'm 33 years old and I'm a medical doctor specialized in emergency medicine, and currently I'm doing a training in urology. And yeah, otherwise I like everything that has to do with flying, paragliding, skydiving. So that's what I do.
So you already like being up in the air.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. What was the most challenging part of this selection process for you?
Yeah, I think it was really some kind of a roller coaster with not knowing what's going to happen next. And so it was really hard, and also for really tough questions as well. And also for my family and friends and my partner. So I would like to thank everyone for supporting me all the way. Thank you very much. Merci.
Well, thank you for being here. Marco Sieber, everybody. And that does conclude our career astronaut selection today. Joseph, it's been an amazing day for you and the European Space Agency. If you had to sum it all up in a nutshell, what would you say?
Oh, today was quite a day. I mean, there was a roller coaster for the astronauts, not knowing until now what really happens. For me, I have to say, and this is for me representing really Europe and space through the European Space Agency, there are two important things. Of course, the announcement of the astronauts here is a highlight, which is so fantastic. But also our ministerial conference, I have to say, was quite an important emotional moment as well, putting all this together, the fruits of a year and a half work, wonderful programs which we are starting now with these commitments of our member states. And I think seeing that ESA is really working extremely well thanks to all the member states and all these contributions is so beautiful to see, and really thank you for that from my side once more.
Thank you, and we look forward to hearing how it all unravels as the years and months go on. I know you already said some thanks, but I would also like to thank you for being on stage and helping me out here today. And I'd like to thank our audience, whether you're here with us in Paris or watching us online, for being so enthusiastic this afternoon. Before we close this afternoon's event, though, we would like to have a group photo on stage with everybody, and then the astronauts and the ministers will be going into their separate offices for the interviews. We do ask that any of the journalists here please be patient, and our media team will be coming to collect you and take you to them one by one. For the group photo then, in just a minute, I'd love to invite the class of 2009 astronauts up to the stage, along with all of the ministers and Dr. David Parker as well. And please do use the steps on either side of the stage to come up onto the platform. My name is Louise Houghton, and it has been an absolute pleasure to host this momentous occasion here in Paris today. If you want to keep up to date with what's going on with our astronauts, then you can do that online at esa.int, or of course on social at ESA Astro 2022. All right, have a great rest of your afternoon, everybody, and a safe journey home. Thank you very much. Please do come on stage for the photograph, everybody.
First astronauts.
I think.
So now a big surprise, huh?
Nice to see you.
Oh, good to see you. How are you
yes,
doing?
I'm good.